Hey friend, Roger Christofferson here. This is going to be a weird experiment. We're going to give this a try. A few weeks ago, I was watching, skimming around on YouTube, just looking for something. I don't remember what it was, but I saw a guy who was talking about, on a little thumbnails, talking about how he'd bought a box of 100 CDs and what he got and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's kind of fun. So I should do that, just give that a try and see what we end up with. So I just got online. I found somebody selling a box of 100 CDs, and I ordered them in. No clue what we were going to get. I thought it'd be kind of interesting. I just got it here a few days ago, and pretty much what I thought I was going to get in there: a bunch of classical stuff, a bunch of pop stuff that nobody cares about, a few things I'd never heard of before. There was a whole bunch of Christmas. There's probably like 10 Christmas CDs in there, and then just a mix mash of a few things that some stuff I already had. And there's probably about 10 things in there that I didn't have that I was like really pleasantly surprised with. So I thought, you know what? Why don't I just review like randomly a few of the things that we got in there, the stuff that I'm not too familiar with, the stuff that I had wanted. And there was a couple in there that I was like, wow, I'm not on this one. I haven't finished listening to the one I'm talking about, but there's one in there that I was like really happy to get. It was the final thing to the collection I've been collecting for like years, and it was the final CD even of what I've been looking for. So anyway, we'll get that, maybe that one a little bit later on. I haven't even finished listening to it yet, but the first one I kind of grabbed to listen to was by the band Restless. It's called Fast Moving Train. Now you may be thinking, what the heck? Because they're kind of known as a country band, right? That's kind of what I'd heard the song When She Cries, and I'm like, well, I know that song. It's like the only one I really know. And, I kind of like that song. So I figured, let's see what the rest of the band sounds like. They kind of look like that mid-90s country type band. There's bands like that, like Black Hawk, I like them. Diamond Rio, I kind of liked some of their stuff. And there's a few other bands in there that, I kind of liked. And, one thing about country music, because my ex-wife used to listen to a lot of country music, and I'd always thumb through the CDs and stuff to see what was playing on them. And then one thing I always noticed is they don't write their own songs. So it's kind of turned me off. She's a big Garth Brooks fan, and I didn't write hardly any of his stuff. And I remember John Michael Montgomery she used to listen to, and I just didn't ever see them writing their own stuff, which I just didn't like. I don't know, just personally I didn't like. Love or hate Taylor Swift, at least she was writing her own stuff, still is as far as I know. That's one thing I respected about her. I could at least tolerate the fact she was writing her own stuff, even though I don't really care for the music she writes, but at least I can appreciate that. And there's a few other artists out there that do that. So when I got this, the first thing I did was thumb through the writing credits, and pretty much the majority of the stuff on here was written by outside writers. Although there's about 4 or 5 that have shared writing credits with the members of the band in here. The members of the band are, it's funny, where it lists the members of the band, it doesn't tell what instruments they play. You have to kind of flip back and forth to see what pictures shows them with what instrument. So Don Dietrich looks like he's the one that pictured playing drums. Paul Gregg is on bass. Larry Stewart on lead vocals, Dave Innes, piano, I think. Greg Jennings must be guitar, even though they don't show him with the guitar, but they show the other guy with the piano. So that's kind of how you have to figure this out, I guess. So when I first started listening to it, it didn't really sound country to me, which I was like, oh, this is weird. I mean, it's got a country feel here and there, but overall, it sounded more like a mixture of like a Southern rock and Chicago is kind of the first initial reaction I had. I thought, man, this is a little strange. But the first song was kind of a mid-tempo rocking type of song. Title song, Fast Moving Train, written by Dave Loggins, who I'm not familiar with. He wrote one or two other ones on here, I guess. And really nice and tight drum sound, like 80s style for sure. Just that really tight adult contemporary type drum sound. Even Toto used that sound a lot. First thing that comes to mind anyway. And Chicago I already mentioned, and it has that feel to it. Huge vocals, and that's one thing I love about country is their vocal harmonies are great. And this guy's got a cool southern rock, Skinner-ish sounding type voice. So I was like, oh, this is cool. I can deal with that. Second song, Dancy's Dream. Never heard any of these before, by the way. Thought that was pretty cool. It was a little bit slower. Same thing. And the further I got into this, I'm like, none of this is sounding really country. Even started getting an Eagles feel through some of it. The song "Long Lost Friend," which has a shared writing credit with the lead singer, was kind of cool. I, like the lyric. The one thing I do like about these songs is the lyrical content is really a lot better than I expected. I don't know if I mentioned this. It looks like this came out in '90 on BMG Records. Like I said, I'm not familiar with this band at all, so this was kind of fun. And the only thing that sounded like really country to me was a song called "A Little More Coal in the Fire." And even that one got a little bit rocking towards the end of it, and that's the same songwriter as the first song, "Fast Moving Train," so two different styles, kind of by the same writer. And I'm kind of flipping through it as we're talking here. And River Stone was a good one. There's a couple other songs in here that were just a little generic, but The Truth Hurts was written by Van Stevenson and a couple of the band members, Dave Innes, Tim Dubois. He actually co-wrote one of the other songs on here too, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was "I've Never Been So Sure." Shared writing credits with Dave Innes and Tim Dubois on that one. Those are actually both pretty good songs as well. And in case nobody's familiar with Van Stevenson, I believe he's passed away now, but he had a couple solo albums out. Modern Day Delilah, I believe, was the big hit he had. And I also believe he was a member of the band Blackhawk. I don't know if he was in the band right from the start or he joined later on. Can't remember, but they were a decent band too. I actually have one of their CDs that I haven't listened to in probably 25 years or so. Maybe I should dig that one out and give it a listen. But yeah, this was a fun experiment, and I got a few more to go through. If you stuck all the way through to the end here, got maybe a fun little thing I might tag on at the end here just for the heck of it. But anyway, thanks for sticking with it. If you like this, thumbs up, give me a comment, tell me if it was cool, worth checking out or not. I don't know. I got some other cool ones in here that I like anyway, and that's kind of what I go by, is what looks interesting to me. So anyway, make sure you like, subscribe, and share and all that fun stuff, and we'll talk to you on the next one. See ya. And you guys have been very, very bad. So I want you to sit in the corner and think about what you guys have done. In fact, here. Yeah, that's better. Now don't come out until you really thought about the torture you've inflicted upon so many